What's going on YouTube? It's Matt Fairclough. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel, and I am super excited. I'm always excited. I'm even more excited today because I'm here to talk to you guys about with one of my good friends, Erik Cabral. And you guys might know Erik because he's been in some other series we've done, including the Fair and Square production for Bigger Pockets. Erik and I have done a lot of stuff with him being behind the scenes and all that. So I'm a big fan of him and his company On Air Brands. And when On Air Brands production that I'm a part of today, which is super exciting, is PodMax. So first of all, before we even go any further, what is PodMax?
PodMax is a unique... Thank you for having me, by the way. Always an honor to be here in this space, right? This is legendary. The DeRosa space here, everybody knows it. But yeah,
the Matt Cave.
The Matt Cave.
The Matt Cave.
Oh, hey, I'm sure Cap doesn't like that.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He's sheriff. Captain Sheriff. He's no
That is
true.
Yeah. Who would win in a fight, Captain America or Batman?
I think Captain America would beat the crap out of him.
Well, he's got the super soldiers. So
I really do.
I'm sorry, we're going deep geek on here, folks.
Yeah.
Can we just talk
just
about
an
comics?
inventor. Yeah, we could. We could do a fight. Yeah. Right. Let's talk comics. Yeah.
Seriously,
Cool.
we can do it all day. We need a show about just comics. Anyway, so PodMax is a unique event and experience for everyone who wants to get in the podcasting space or is already in the podcasting space. So if you're a podcaster, the opportunity for you to come to this PodMax event is to batch shows. So you get an opportunity to record 5, 6, 7 shows all in one day, right? We're all about batching.
As a podcaster, it's good for us.
It's
great.
great.
It's a lot of great content for us. But for the guests, now you're bringing in guests that get broadcast on all these different real estate shows, including like Cashflow Ninja, Jason and Pili Yarusi,
DeRosa
Group, a bunch of other shows too, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this is really all about broadcasting a brand. But when you think about it, right, some people are like, well, I don't need a brand. I'm just a real estate investor, or I'm just a XYZ entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So, you're my branding guy.
Yeah.
Total softball. What is a brand?
Yeah, so a brand, a lot of real estate investors, especially early real estate investors, don't even have business cards. They're like, I don't have a business card.
Don't need one.
I don't need one. I don't do that. So
I don't need a website. How many people
I don't need a website. I get it. It's not 1999, but it's still relevant. Websites are still relevant. It's a calling card. It is your face. It is the company's face. Aside from you being the face, right? Your company represents you without you being there. So if someone sees your brand, someone sees your logo, someone sees, whatever it is connected to your message and your company and what it does, it stays in the mind, right? It's all about that sphere of influence, right?
Yeah.
People only do business, and you and I always say this, they only do business with people who they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
So what your brand does for you is it sets the foundation without you even being there.
Right.
So what you want to do is prime the pump, set up those expectations, and set up and have a relationship before you even meet someone.
I've never heard of it explained that way, but you're right. A brand really begins the relationship conversation before you meet people. And here's something that I've learned by watching just by you as well, but I've also heard in life as well, is that you got a brand, and you watching this too, you have a brand, whether you know it or not, right? And having just controlling and owning your brand is a way to really elevate that conversation that people have with you before you even shake their hand, right? Because they're gonna Google you, they're gonna see you online, they're gonna see what you're up to, especially if you're broadcasting yourself in some sort of social media channel. And if you're not, you're really not thriving as a business. If you're not really broadcasting yet in some form or fashion, then you should be in some way. And that brand that you're broadcasting is what people likely see first, right? So if you're not controlling that, then you're broadcasting whatever. Then people just hear whatever it is. I've also heard it said differently that everybody's selling something.
Absolutely.
They really are. And whether you know what you're selling or not, even if you're not a salesperson, everybody's selling and offering something and having a conversation with people, whether you really are controlling that or not. So you want to control it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the one tidbit I want to make sure that your audience really pays attention to is, like Matt said, your brand is you, really, basically, is what he's saying. And you have to be conscious of that. Be very self-aware that when you walk in a room, the way you're carrying yourself, the way your posture, how you're dressed, wherever you go, you never know when you're going to meet your next client, your next business partner. So represent yourself in the highest form that you can imagine yourself as a business owner. You own a business, or even if you're thinking about owning a business, step in the room with the highest frequency we always talk about, at that level to the people that you want to be working with.
Yeah.
Right? So when I first met Matt, I wasn't doing anything in real estate, but I always tried to make sure I vibrated on the same frequency as Matt Faircloth so that we partner, we work together all the time, we're on the phone, we're sending each other love notes. Here's the thing, that doesn't happen unless you start to represent yourself from the very first handshake, the very first conversation that you have with someone. So always be aware.
So there's some newer investors and some investors that are that aren't really in control of their brands yet, but want to be, right? So new investors or people that are really wanting to control the brands they got. Give me like 3, and I'm putting you on the spot right here, but I know you can handle this one. So give me 3 quick, or maybe 3 more than 3 or whatever. 3 quick tips that anybody watching can apply today in their business if they really want to control their brand. You've already alluded to a few of them, but go ahead.
Yeah, so number 1, self-awareness, right? Always be aware of how you're representing yourself.
Like, what am I broadcasting?
What am I broadcasting? What am I saying? What is my message here? What am I trying to say? So number 2 would be,
so ask the question, so what are you putting out
What
there?
are you putting out there?
So,
and what
if you show up at a business meeting in jeans and a t-shirt and a backwards hat, and you're meeting with someone who's going to maybe do business with you, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are you broadcasting?
Another thing is, a lot of people use Fiverr. There are a lot of really cool tools that you can use to get a professional to design something for you. So Matt and I first started working together, not necessarily in real estate, but through branding. So I helped Matt brand some of his...
He branded one of our apartment buildings.
Right.
It's he helped design the color scheme, the logo, everything for an apartment complex that we have in North Carolina.
Because
and I'm grateful
Matt
for that. And
takes this seriously, right? You took it seriously. You hire professionals, right? You didn't go to Fiverr, but Fiverr's great. Upworks is great. I recommend for those who can't afford hiring a professional,
So do whatever it is. You don't have to hire. I mean, you can hire a professional agency like Erik's, but just get some help.
Get something clean. Don't just slap it into a Word document and print it.
The steps are tips. Be aware of what it is you're putting out there in all forms and fashions, and just be present to the brand that you're broadcasting. Right? Were we getting into the second one yet?
The second one was represent your brand. You get some help on a visual level. So get a professional designer to create whatever it is you're trying to create, whether it's a website, a business card.
There's affordable options out there. There is Fiverr. There are professional agencies that are affordable like yours. You're not gonna, but there's also options like 99 Designs.
Right.
There's Fiverr. There's other ways that you can get to get a professional looking brand that's not gonna cost you thousands and thousands of dollars.
Because what I see it as is it's the equivalent of buying a cheap suit or a very, very cheap piece of clothing that you say, this just does the job, it's fine, it's keeping me warm. But there are connotations and people have, preconceived notions about what that represents if you're wearing a brand or another. So keep that in mind.
And we should know, by the way, you're wearing a branded shirt, I'm wearing a branded shirt too.
And
people, it broadcasts and subconsciously puts it out there.
That could be the third. But my third is really an easy one. Please just put yourself out there, whether it's through social media, through networking is key. You have to go out and you have to shake hands and you have to meet people because the know, like, and trust factor doesn't happen faster than you actually showing up and making sure you're consistent.
Have the conversation.
Show people what you're about, and they will trust you and want to do business with you.
Yeah. Cool. So that's great. Listen, branding. You have one whether you know it or not. Okay. This is a great event, PodMax, and if people want to hear more about on-air brands or PodMax or any of the cool stuff that On-Air Brands is up to as a company, how do they hear about you guys?
Yeah, simple. OnAirBrands.com. That is our website. You get to see all the wonderful things that we do and how we help the community, especially real estate investors. And we're rolling out these events. Go to OnAirBrandsPodMax.com and you can see all the details and then try to how you can get into the next one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love you, brother.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great profitable week.